Welcome back. It is so nice to be making Sims. You have no idea. Today we are jumping right back into our Different Faces challenge. We're currently on Anne of Cleves, who was wife number 4 of Henry VIII. And today we're actually working on Joss. God, that's hard to say. Joss. I want to say Josh, but it's not. It's Joss. Oh my gosh. Joss Stone's portrayal from the Tudors. I'm sure you already knew she was going to be included based on the fact that I've included the Tudors portrayal in every other option here. But to be fair, as I know I've said at least once, that was my initial introduction to the Tudors. Like, I'm an American, so they don't really cover English history in general. They don't cover the history of pretty much anything. You just memorize a lot of dates, and by the end of it, you know that 1776 was a year. So, yeah, the Tudors was my first introduction to everything. It's really where I got interested in who they were as people, and kind of jump-started my interest in history, so of course I had to include her. Also the fact that there are not a lot of Anne of Cleves portrayals. She was a pretty good portrayal, and it's painful to say that about the Tudors, but she at least wasn't given like the comedic portrayal of like, ha ha ha, she's gross, he thinks she looks like a horse, which has its place, and especially in earlier kind of portrayal things, like, I get it. We get it. We get it. I just noticed that Fraps leaves 30 and other numbers on. Oh, good. I'm not editing that out. You can just deal with random numbers on the screen. That's from my screenshot program. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's been a minute. Anyways, in the Tudors, you know, she shows up, she's not, you know, Josh, oh my god, I'm just gonna call her Josh now, I'm sorry. Joss Stone is super pretty, she's a singer, I believe. But, like, they don't go with, like, the typical ugly portrayal that Henry VIII really wanted people to think to justify his trash behavior. I believe the actual Anne of Cleves was blonde, but contemporary portrayals, it's kind of hard, because the Germans love to put weird hats on everybody. They weren't even hats, they just like to pile things on their heads, which makes this one interesting as well. It's almost, I would almost say the Tudors did a better job than the actual Germans of the time period, because literally it was just put it on your head. It's great. Although the Tudors did put an awful outfit on her. The image that I was looking at was like one of the promotional photos, and not only did she have a hat that basically looked like a weird vase with Hobby Lobby gemstones glued on it, but then the dress had like giant chain link, but it was used as a trim. I'm not talking about the one that was wrapped around her neck like a snake. This is a different awful one that was just like literal trim. I have no idea what they were thinking. It's like they thought, oh, Germany? Did you say any fantasy movie from the 1990s? Yes, we can do this. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't. I mean, none of the Tudor costumes really are that great, but really Anne of Cleves got done dirty. But character-wise, she was done alright. You know, she shows up, she's a little scared, she's a little nervous, she doesn't really know how the English behave, which is true. Like, in Germany, she was very sheltered. Like, they didn't play cards. That wasn't how their court was. There wasn't, like, courtly love and all of that. Like, the fashions were different. She just was not seen as how they wanted a woman to be portrayed. But she did her best in real life and in the show. And I like to think that it's one of the better portrayals. I mean, I already said that, but I'm saying it more sheepishly because I'm just remembering that this is the Tudors. But yeah, like, not only did they keep her through the marriage, but they could have had her disappear at that point, and no one really would have blamed them. They kept her on as a reoccurring character to show she did what Henry wanted, and she made it out alive, and not just alive, but like, he lavished crap on her because finally this was a woman doing what he wanted. She was the only woman in his life that was like, alright, fine, give me the paper. Like, until then, he'd had to kill women just to do what he wanted, and so I'm sure it was a relief to him to have somebody say, oh yes, you're absolutely right. I will do exactly as you say. That's all he ever wanted, was yes men. That's why Charles Brandon lived as long as he did, even though he arguably did things that should have got his head chopped off. So yeah, then we see her later as part of the family. She really is the king's sister. She's sitting with the family when they're doing the dancing. She dances with Catherine Howard. They don't show her as being mean or like gross about it. She's just like, I lived, I'm having the best time. And then they also show her as adapting to her new country and adapting very well. We have a scene where she's with Elizabeth I, because she did help take care of her. And you can see that they have a relationship even after the split. That's great. Please, give us more of this. Anne of Cleves deserves her own show. There was kind of a scene, but it is the Tudors, where it shows Henry VIII and her actually having sex after the divorce, which, come on now. But it's Showtime, so hey, at least they didn't do worse things. They could have. I do know at one point she was, maybe my brain is just melted. I can't take any of my normal medications, so none of my allergy meds or anything, like, so I'm completely out of it right now, because this is a week for my surgery, but I'm pretty sure that she was actually brought up as being a wife again after Catherine Howard, like him just remarrying her, which I think would have been funny, because the people actually really liked her, and she thought not super highly of herself, but she definitely thought that she deserved better, which she did. I think that would have been the funniest, like, alternative history of just like, he's like, you know what, yeah, I know I said some things, I was wrong. It would be great. But hey, he married Catherine Parr. She went on to live her best life. I did have a little bit of trouble getting her nose right. I still don't think it's quite right, but that also I think is the fault of the skin tone. But like, I like her little mouth, because it's like down but up. It's like a little pouty mouth. It's super cute. I chucked on giant jewels, because of course I did. I was trying to find the right crown. I was slightly irritated that I couldn't find one, but then I remembered, hey, if the Germans could just slap things on people's heads and the Tudor design team can do tiaras on everybody, I should be allowed to put a Tudor hat on Anne of Cleves, and it should be acceptable. And you know what? I did. It's fine. It's green. It matches. All is well. I can't even remember the outfit that I put on her. It's not great, but all of her costumes in the show were worse, so arguably I did her better. Yeah, and her eyes were also a little bit difficult, because they were like almond-shaped and a little bit tilted, but squinty, but not squinty, and the struggle was real, but overall, I'm really happy with how she turned out. I wouldn't say she's my favorite. There was one I did earlier that I really, really liked the look of. That was me, by the way, sneaking in the picture of her just because it was awful, but I don't want to get a copyright strike, so it was quick. So you can pause really quickly if you want to see that awful chain link trim that I was talking about. So yeah, I was just trying to find, I knew I had this outfit that kind of had like a bunch of stuff on it. I love these epic dresses, but it has like what the Tudors production team maybe intended to do, but didn't do. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So definitely give this video a like if you enjoyed it. We're almost done with all of our Anne of Cleves, and yes, we're going to do the genetic challenge with them too, because I said so. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.